Welcome to Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
And crash. You son
Oh, God. Hold on. Pause.
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
They were targeting Wall Street when they should have been targeting Capitol Hill. They should have been targeting DC. This is the same thing, and this is what people keep missing.
Taking it to the suits, being relatable and hilarious.
You bought GameStop at 400, didn't you? To the moon, baby. To the moon.
Get ready to own the chaos in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. The stock market is crazy and chaotic, and boy, has it gone to shit today. But that's okay. We're going to help you guys own it. It is a wild day in the stock market, full of all kinds of news. We got Putin doing his bullshit, bringing the stock market down. Oil's even down as well. We're going to get into as to why, because it has nothing to do with Russia. And then we also have earnings today. We got Roku, we got Redfin, we got Shake Shack, Dropbox, any other ones that you guys want me to bring to the table. Make sure you put them in the chat. But before we do any of that and get into any of it, also, it's Freddie Day, so he is in the background hanging out. I'm going to bring him up in a moment. But as always, the starting five is Mimaroon, Philip Stroh, Ralph Vandenhoek, Tammy Johnson, and Wakar Naweed. You guys are our starting five. If you guys didn't make the starting five, it's probably because you don't have the notification bell on. So make sure you're hitting that bell. If you're not subscribed, of course, you got to do that as well. But guys, what's going on? It is a wild day in the stock market today. First, Putin's going to invade Ukraine. Then he's not. Now he is. Turns out he actually never was going to not do it. But it's looking like that's going to be more and more of a reality that Ukraine is going to be invaded. Who knows if this actually still goes through? I would be surprised still if he actually followed through with this. We're going to get into a lot of that as well as everything else. But as always, guys, let's just lighten the room a little bit and bring in Freddie Valoy, as always, on Thursdays. Here he is. What's up, Freddie?
What is up, B Magic? What is up, Chaos Crew? I hope you guys are doing well. And it does look like Putin is back on his bullshit. That's very well said. I like that. The Super Bowl was this Sunday. I'm not going to let you guys forget about the Super Bowl because it's a very American day. For those that don't watch football, I'm one of these people. I have a little tip for you if you want to get past any football conversation without getting questioned about why you don't watch football. When someone goes, "Hey, what'd you think about the game?" You just got to go, "What'd you think about the game?" And then they're going to tell you everything they thought about the game. And then you go, I was thinking the same thing. And then you just walk away. And then you'll seem like you know about football when really, you don't. But because like most things, people are just setting you up so that they can give you their propaganda. They're just waiting for their turn to speak. And football is no different. I don't watch football. A lot of people, I'm not one of these guys that's proud because there's a group of men, they're usually American men that watch soccer because they're trying to be different. So they're like, "Ooh, I don't watch football. It's too barbaric for me." Everybody has their football. I watch anime. That's stupid. Football is stupid. My girlfriend watches reality TV. That's stupid. But it's also art, guys. Reality TV is art. People fight me on this. But it really, what is art supposed to do? Art's supposed to make you feel. And try to sit down for 5 minutes, watch a reality TV show for 5 minutes, and try to not feel something. Try. It's impossible. You're going to mostly feel anger, but it'll hook you, man. I'll be walking by the TV. My girlfriend's watching the show, and I just walking by. So 3 seconds, I hear something. I'm like, what this bitch just say? What am I really listening to what's going on? Then I'm invested. And then now, 3 episodes in, I'm like, oh my God, this guy's sober now. Good for him. Good for him making a change in his life. It's an emotional roller coaster. They're annoying. It's usually people with money opening up some new open concept restaurant or something like that. And the meetings are like, I'm thinking the vibe could be very bohemian, which is just a shortcut for we're going to do whatever the fuck we want. The bohemian gets used very loosely with rich white women. It's great. Pay attention to that one. And the concept of the restaurant, I think about an Indonesian rest stop meets an IKEA. And that's where we want to go. It's just the craziest stuff. 50 Cent was hanging upside down. That was fun. A lot of people made fun of him, but you were not the same weight that you were when 50 Cent dropped that video too. We all gained weight with 50. We all took the ride to a little bit of a beer belly. All right. We all accepted the dad bod at some point in our lives. So he was hanging up there like a rotisserie chicken. And I'm going to leave on that wordplay. Brad, back to you.
Oh man, when I saw you put up rotisserie chicken, that was hilarious. I should have brought up the picture of Jay-Z because he straight up looks like Whoopi Goldberg from Ghost as well. I feel like I got to find that somewhere, but like that, when they showed him, that was hilarious. I was like, I instantly thought that that's who it was. Speaking of which, the tactic that you're talking about, is called mirroring. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. As far
What's
as
that?
mirroring is like, when you're being asked about the Super Bowl, you're like, well, what did you think about the Super Bowl? And then you kind of like repeat what you answer.
Yeah.
It's actually a negotiating tactic called mirroring.
Chris Voss, did you read that book?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that book is great. Anybody in sales or really anything, this thing is like
dude's a genius. But yeah, man, it's interesting that most people don't. It feels like football was I don't know, a year ago. Right. It felt like the Super Bowl ended a year ago, but yeah, I mean, it's crazy that you brought it back up because I was just like, oh man, it was last weekend.
I still have a podcast episode that I'm dropping like in 4 days about the Super Bowl. And it'll be the last Super Bowl recap of 2022.
Yeah. And then it feels weird after football season because I do watch football. Because from September to now, it's just like, okay, this is what we're talking about, and then now it's just kind of like I don't even know what I'm want to watch. But I really recently started getting the F1 Formula One racing.
Ooh, okay. I'm hearing more and more about F1. Are you not? You're just gonna dump baseball? You're just done?
Well, we don't even know if there's gonna be baseball.
Oh, why? What happened?
They're still in the middle of a lockout, like a collective bargaining agreement lockout. Like nobody's playing right now, so who knows?
I thought Putin was taking over the MLB as well. I'm like, man, this guy's making moves.
He might be. The other thing that I wanted to address too was like with your girl watching TV shows. Selling Sunset got me good. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
it got me real good. Passing by, and then I was like, what the hell is this? This is some bullshit. And here I am, 3 hours later, watching it. I'm like, what the fuck?
It hooks you. I totally see the allure with reality. Some people look down on it. I'm like, no, they know what they're doing. Like,
yes, 100%. All right, guys. Well, with that, the stock market is taking a big giant dump. As I mentioned at the top of the show, the Dow's down 665 points. It looks like everything's kind of accelerating right now as I'm looking at the market in real time. S&P is down 100 points, which is good for being down for 2.25%. The Dow's, like I mentioned, down 2%. Nasdaq's down 3%. And oil is also down. Now, we've talked about this, and Freddie, I'll enlighten you, but oil has been going berserk with this whole Russia ordeal because of resources that Russia provides for most of Europe. A good giant portion of energy goes towards Germany. There's a big giant pipeline there. So naturally, oil and natural gas have been going up in price because they're worried about supply problems, and we know what happens between supply and demand. So that's been going up. But today, it took a big giant dump, but it has nothing to do with Russia, guys. It has everything to do with the potential deal with Iran, and that would inject another 1 million barrels per day into the oil market. This deal hasn't gone through yet, but it's looking like it may, and so that is why oil's down. However, I don't think that it's crazy as it sounds. OPEC, if you guys aren't familiar with OPEC, they're a conglomerate. They're often called a cartel of countries that includes Russia, Saudi Arabia, some other countries as well. They get together and they assess the market. And they've been increasing production to 400,000 barrels a day and still haven't been able to keep up with demand. We're seeing oil continue to go up in price. So I'm not quite sure that this is going to relieve much of anything. Of course, it's going to relieve a little bit of pressure, but as crazy as it sounds, 1 million barrels a day sounds like a ridiculous number, right? But when you can consider the demand that's going through, and I still think that travel demand is going to be ridiculous in the summertime, I don't think this slows anything down. And I think that if Russia does invade Ukraine, it's not going to matter. what they're doing with Iran. I think we're going to see probably a $15 swing, $20 swing per barrel. I mean, oil's trading around $91 a barrel right now. I think we could see it well over 100, especially if Russia does, in fact, invade Ukraine. It's going to be a pretty crazy time for energy moving forward, whether there's an invasion or not.
How would this affect Elon Musk and Tesla?
That's a good question. I don't know if he really gives too much of a shit. However, he still has to keep its lights on, which he has to use fossil fuel right now to do. So, as far as manufacturing is concerned, I'm sure it will impact him. And you may not know this, but there is a manufacturing plant just about ready to open in Berlin. So this may actually impact Elon Musk. So that's a very great question.
Oh, wow.
So just because they're electric vehicles doesn't mean that he may not be impacted by what's going on.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So we're looking at let's take a look at the chart here real quick. This is the SPY, so you guys know the ETF for the S&P 500, and that is now just hit the low of the day going into the close. So I think generally speaking, when we see times of conflict, particularly when it comes to the threat of war, there really isn't too much of a reaction unless we're directly involved. Like, we're not going to be directly involved with this. Reports that we're getting from the White House and the government is really just that we will be engaging in sanctions, basically, not providing any kind of financial gain for Russia, which really, and neither is the rest of Europe or anybody who's associated with NATO. So that's going to, I think, if Putin starts to invade Ukraine, it could potentially spell an instant Great Depression for Russia. So I don't know why he would do this, other than, and we've talked about this before in the last couple of days about control, and that's what it all seems to matter to him. But he's going to throw his economy into a depression if he does this. I mean, the U.S. doesn't really necessarily have to engage in any kind of military warfare if everybody just kind of stops giving Russia money. And go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Isn't that historically Russia's MO? Like, they throw everything they have at it and kind of fuck their people for the next few years? I'm uneducated on it.
Yeah.
Did they lose in World War II? They lost so many people, because they had the numbers, Yeah.
They did not give a shit. And it kind of seems like Putin might not give a shit at this point.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, we'll see. Obviously, this is why the market's moving down, but I haven't made many trades at all. If you guys were part of the Chaos crew and you're in the Discord, you might have seen me make a couple of trades today. So then I guess I should take that back. I did make a couple of them, but they weren't anything crazy. The only thing that I did was I closed out my Marathon oil trade. So I closed out these calls. They were going to expire next week. So this is Marathon Oil. They had incredible earnings yesterday, announced a share buyback, and then earnings came in well above expectations. So the earnings, the call position I had on Marathon was expiring next week. So I decided to get out of that and roll up the position in Marathon. So I'm back in Marathon. So I came out of it, got back in it, and I'm still playing oil right now. So, and then the other thing I did was I actually ended up buying a very, very, very small portion of a firm, because I think a firm is just down to levels where it's a bit of a joke now. Let's look at this daily chart. It's pretty crazy how much this has come down. All-time lows, which rightfully so. I mean, it shit the bed on earnings, but I think the growth story is still very much here. They're still making moves. I think that the outlook could be a little bit brighter as we get later into the year. So I took leaps on this. They're calls that are way far out, that don't expire until next year. So, and Grant, and I just want to emphasize this. It's a very, very small position. We're talking less than $2,000 I took on this. So it's nothing crazy, but I wanted to just start nibbling at this because at some point, this is kind of swinging a little bit too far in the wrong direction as far as I'm concerned. Should it have been sold off during earnings? Yes. But I think we're getting to a point to where this is kind of getting a bit ridiculous. So I decided to take a position on a firm. I mean, really all of the payer type platforms, fintech in general has been just going through it right now. PayPal is down 70% from its highs. And this is getting to be a little bit crazy and ridiculous. So I actually put a Twitter poll out, or not a Twitter poll, but I just made a post on Twitter asking you guys, when do we think that PayPal actually starts to become a buy again? Because we're getting ready to start talking about potential pandemic lows. Like when the stock market actually crashed, came down to $82 and it's sitting at 105. I mean, I think even Freddie could look at a chart like this and be like, damn, PayPal looks cheap.
Yeah, a lot of these graphs are reminding me of the snowboarding trip I just took, and that can't be good for these companies.
No, definitely not. You want to go downhill on a snowboard. You don't want to go downhill.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I mean, there is some bright spots in here. Gold, one, and we've talked about this earlier in the week too. This is on the watch list for our Chaos Crew folks. If you're not part of the Chaos Crew, hit that join button next to subscribe and help support the channel. But I put gold on here this morning, and we've been talking about it all throughout the week. But this is up 5% after a crazy move today, and after we've gotten more news about Russia, any kind of geopolitical issue, Freddie, or like economic concern, usually creates a lot of inflows into gold in general. This is a ticker symbol GOLD, so this is like more of a gold miner. So it's not actual physical gold you're buying, but so it's a company. But it moves for the most part with the price of gold. So that's something that I think is probably going to continue to move up as long as tensions remain with this Russia-Ukraine BS. So you can see how this has been moving up in the right direction and not quite the wrong one.
Okay. All right.
But the market is officially closed. We got Roku. Here's the thing about Roku. It is now up 2.5%. I saw a lot of people today that bought puts on Roku. And I was a little bit concerned for those folks because we saw what happened to DoorDash yesterday. A lot of people were bearish on DoorDash, rightfully so, right? They don't make money yet. And there is, certainly cause for concern there, but there's one thing that we can always guarantee you guys is that earnings is always a crapshoot. The reaction on earnings is always something where you just never know what you're going to get. So right now it's up after hours. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this on the 5-minute chart here. And let me go your guys' thoughts on some of the other stuff that's traded today. Did you buy anything today? Let me know in the chat. What you guys are looking at. Did you buy anything? Are you just sitting on your hands? Let me know. Freddie Alonzo is asking about Freddie's portfolio since he's been buying stocks.
Let me pull that up real quick.
So we just got Freddie into investing this year. We got you in some pretty solid ones, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's been like a few weeks since I checked it.
So Roku just made a quick U-turn and is now down 9% after hours. Ooh,
damn,
not looking good for Roku. I don't even see anything's out yet, and the stock's down. I mean, it doesn't mean that it's not. As soon as I get those numbers, I will share them with you. But right now, Roku sold off down 9%. Now it's starting to bounce back some. Jeez, this is going to be a shit show. This is going to be wild. It was up like 3%, then tanked 10% almost.
Damn.
Now it's only down like 8%. Who knows where the heck this thing.
Why did it do that?
Well, they have earnings coming out today, but I don't have the earnings numbers just yet. If you guys want to know what the expectations are, Roku is expected to earn 7 cents a share, and the revenue is expected to be around $894 million for the quarter. As soon as I get those numbers, I'll share them with you, but I don't have anything as of right now. Still waiting on those numbers.
All right. The screen is red, which can't be good.
What screen?
I looking at my Weeble.
Oh. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, it says I am down 16.61%.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
So,
right.
So join the club. We're all red this year.
Yeah, we're all here. Yeah, this is good. This is the first time I've checked it and it's been red, so I'm actually a little excited about that.
Yeah. So does this make you want to like go in and buy some stuff up to average down on some things, or?
Yep. Yeah. What should I? So what's a good one to buy? Or I guess I can just buy more of the ones that are down that I already have. Right? Is that what I want to do?
You could. Let's have that conversation in a bit, guys. Stick around because we're going to talk about what Freddie's got, and I think it'd probably be a good convo on what maybe he should go after, or should he just add to what he has.
Great question, Alonzo. I like that.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. There is some other earnings. I still don't have the Roku numbers just yet. It looks like they're out, but I'm going to look at some other stuff. Redfin has earnings, RDFN, and it looks like somebody in the chat in a group. There we go. Adrian, thanks for the numbers. Earnings per share 27 cents. They beat by 4 cents. The revenue was at 643 and they beat revenue, which they beat that by 44 million. So pretty decent beat on that, but the stock is still tanking right now. It's down 11.5%. This probably has something to do with the growth story here. I would imagine that this is down because of the outlook. So this is obviously not good. So we'll just continue to keep an eye on Redfin. But those are your numbers. They came in and beat on earnings per share. They also beat on revenue. That is not looking good here. Dropbox also has earnings today. It doesn't look like we got much out from them just yet, or at least there's no reaction anyway. Although Adrian also has those numbers. He said they beat on earnings per share and they also beat on revenue. Doesn't look like it's by a giant beat, but it's still a beat nevertheless. The stock hasn't really reacted all that much. So we'll see where that goes from here. Let's check back in with Roku. See where we're at. Roku's been really, really choppy right out of the gate.
Ooh.
It's now only down around 5% or so.
Danny Lovell says that Dropbox is popping.
Oh, is it? All right. We'll go back and revisit that. Let me see if I can find the numbers for Roku. They're being elusive at the moment. Here we go. Active accounts on Roku is 60.1 million. So it looks like those numbers are out somewhere. Let me find them here. I don't remember what the expectation was for active users on Roku.
Southpaw says Roku to the moon. He's positive. I like that.
Yeah.
Need more positivity.
I mean, this is another one where we're getting back down to levels like before the pandemic.
Michael Manask. Oh gosh, I'm usually good with names. Michael Mencassi says going to get way worse, about to be ugly.
What is?
I don't know.
I love
very
it.
Ominous, very cryptic.
I love it when people do that. Like, okay, give me some context, bro.
Darren Anderson says buy gold, Freddie. I like that. I like my workout partner in college. I wrestled in college. His name was Darren. He used to whip my ass every single day. So naturally I just submit to Darren. So what's up, Darren Anderson? Darren that's a name of somebody that has gold.
Yes.
Right?
I know Darren, and he's an old head.
Yeah, dude.
He's for sure got gold.
Hell yeah. I want to buy gold just because Darren told me to.
Oh man, yeah. I don't. Why am I having such a hard time finding Roku numbers? Does anybody else got them? Throw them in the chat if you got them. I'm having a real hard time finding earnings per share on this.
Blade Runner Zero says, I think Fred and I need to throw down. He needs to prove himself. I'm ready, man. You bring the baby oil, and I'll bring a positive attitude.
That is a very appropriate response for Blade Runner, which, by the way, I appreciate you hanging out, Blade Runner. He usually hangs out with us in the mornings. I rarely see him in the afternoon. So,
oh, nice.
Good
Shout out to Blade Runner.
Right now, looks like the earnings are out, but and the stock's been all over the place. It was up around 3-4%, then tanked down around 10%, and now it's looking like it's trying to fight its way back. It's only down around 4%. Who knows where this thing's going to go? As soon as I get those numbers in for you guys, though, I will certainly share them.
Housekeeping says Freddie's holding cash for when OnlyFans goes public. I like that.
That's a good call. That's a very good call.
Zach Nicholson says, let's go, Brandon. LG says, what WTF is wrong with Roku investor relation page? I'm checking from Germany. Guy, can you check if that's true? What is that Roku investor relation page?
Yeah, so like it looks like their website where they released their earnings is down. I'm actually looking at this right now. It says it's temporarily down for maintenance. What timing?
Right?
Great time for that to happen.
Oh, Darren, I knew you were a wild man. He said, oh gosh, hold on. I just missed that. Oh, Freddie, you got me rolling, brother. I don't whip anybody's ass anymore. I love it.
He used to. He's just not as good as he once was, is what it is.
He was handing out life lessons. I love it. Let's see. Michael Mancassi's having a seizure. He says, God. Just spammed Trump is the truth. All right. Gold was 2,400 in 2011, but Bitcoin was 12 cents. Ooh, Ray Seed with a little, I like that. Nice little juxtaposition there. That's a fun word to say.
That is a fun word. It's good, good old college word.
Right?
So yeah, it's looking like their investor relations page is down, and that's what's kind of causing the confusion. So we saw this instant move up on what, I'm not quite sure. Then it tanks. And now it looks as if some of these numbers are just kind of trickling in because their investor relations page is down. So as soon as this comes up, I'll certainly share that with you guys. But that's the situation at this point. The comments and the response on Twitter, mind you, is fucking hilarious. There's like so many. I got to move this over here. Look at this. Look at this right here. This dude is really scared right now about what happened with Roku.
That's funny.
That's overall sentiment right now on Roku, as we still haven't been able to figure out what the hell's going on with earnings. There have been other earnings that have been reported, though. We have Redfin that came in and actually beat earnings.
Nice.
But it looks as if the outlook was pretty terrible on slowing of growth. And we've seen this right now where home builders are slowing the building of homes right now because of interest rates, inflation, and there's lots of other dynamics here. There's so much demand going on for homes, which is a great thing, but there's hardly any homes to be bought. So that's the problem here. It's a supply issue, which is the theme for the entire economy right now. And, the real estate market is not to be excluded from that, which is crazy.
Don Francho, I like this comment. If tomorrow isn't green, we're going lower in a lot.
Well, if tomorrow's not green, we're going to be red. So
yeah.
Appreciate that. Jesus Christ. What insights. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Shake Shack is also down. They had earnings today. That's down 5%. Anybody in Shake Shack, by the way? Good old downtown Josh Brown from CNBC loves himself some Shake Shack. They did come in and they missed on earnings. So they were expecting a loss of 17 cents per share. They came down and missed at a loss of 25 cents per share. So missed big time on that one. The revenues came in at 203.3. Estimated was 202.7. It looks like the reason that they missed on earnings has a lot to do with increased wages, inflation, a lot of that going around. And that seems to be why Shake Shack actually ended up reporting a loss while coming in with better than expected revenue.
Okay.
So that one I actually have, if anybody's interested in Shake Shack. Still waiting on those Roku numbers, though.
This is a Don Fron. Is this a challenge? I believe he said buy the dip tomorrow.
Ooh.
He said, yeah, you're right. You should buy the dip tomorrow. LOL.
Yeah.
He said, put your money where your mouth is, buddy.
Okay, so we got 272 of you guys hanging in here. So love the fact that you are hanging out in the stream this afternoon, but we only have 40 likes, which is kind of bullshit. What are we doing? Is it because I didn't remind you to hit the thumbs up?
Let's go, guys. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Give a little tappity tap.
Yeah. Caress. You know what? I was watching a YouTuber the other day, or it was today actually. And every creator tries to come up with something clever for the like button. Mm-hmm. And this guy decided to use the word boop.
That's a good one.
Boop the like button.
That's wow. He went back to the basics on that one.
It feels kind of cringy to me, to be honest.
But it gets a reaction. Oh,
it definitely does that.
It's like it makes it. Yeah, maybe it is uncomfortable. It's like, ooh, like you just touched me.
Who says boop, man?
You do that to when you're trying to be cute.
You just boop their nose.
You're like boop.
Boop your dog's nose.
Yeah.
You could caress the like button if you'd like.
That's good.
To come up with something clever like that.
Gently caress the like button.
Yeah.
Until the channel becomes aroused.
See, that's way cringier, but it's still hilarious. So it works. Roku is actually making its way back to even. What a wild afternoon for Roku. Still don't have those numbers. As soon as I got them, though, guys, I'll share them with you. But this is crazy.
Diogo Souza says, new follower here, 140K invested, nothing but res.
Yeah. First of all, appreciate the follow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's been a tough year so far. We kind of expected this. I don't know if we expected it to be quite as dramatic, but yeah, it's been a tough start to the year so far.
Nick Roy 52 asked, doesn't Fiverr have earnings too today?
Fiverr had earnings this morning, and they actually knocked it out of the park.
Okay,
I don't have the actual numbers on Fiverr, but I know that they beat pretty solidly, and obviously it kind of moved back down. Oops, let's go back. This chart's all wonky. It actually was up around 10% at one point today, but then got carried down with the rest of the market. It still ended up closing green at 3.5%. But yeah, they had actually really good earnings, and I think this is going to become a continued thing. Fiverr, got way ahead of itself. It was up. Where was it set? 300s, I want to say. 336 was the all-time high for that, and it's obviously moved down and cooled off a little bit. But I think the gig economy, and from a I guess firsthand basis, Freddie, you probably can attest to this. The gig economy is not going anywhere, and I think it's going to continue to grow.
Oh yeah, it's going to be the way we work as a society. Where I'm Naval Ravikant, I think one of the best thinkers of our time, kind of laid the picture. He's like, you're going to wake up, go on your phone, complete your jobs that are based on your strengths or whatever.
Yep. Complete
the job, get paid. You don't got to,
right.
Yeah. Good for Fiverr. Good job, Fiverr.
I mean, I was doing the gig economy shit before it was cool. I was also working from home before it was cool.
I like that, Brad.
I was an innovator.
Yeah, an industrial hipster.
That's right. Now everybody's doing it.
Housekeeping says, hey, I know it's been a day since, but what's the quick recap on Crocs?
So Crocs missed earnings. I'm sorry. They look, I think they beat earnings, but they didn't have a great outlook. And a lot of that had to do with supply chain issues. It looks like that's finally hitting Crocs. So they had a rough go at it. I think it's going to be something that's probably worth buying up. I had mentioned that I thought we talked about this yesterday. But let's go back and look at the daily. I think there's going to be an opportunity for this. I had mentioned yesterday at 85, and today it obviously fell below that. But I think it's in large part because of it being carried back down with the rest of the market. But look at the chart here. Let's see where this was a resistance way back in March of last year, and then tested that again. And the earnings happened, and it gapped right up above that. Well, that gap's now filled here down here. So I think that this is still a reasonable area to consider perhaps getting into some Crocs, just given how much this is corrected. It seems like a good spot to grab it now. Crocs isn't going anywhere. I think you have Crocs, don't you, Freddie?
I believe so. Yeah, I think I bought that one recently. Let's see.
So we'll take a look at that in a minute.
Oh yeah, I have Crocs. I'm down. P&L is negative 165.
Oh, that's not too terrible.
Okay, all right.
Not too terrible. Roku is now down again. Look at this freaking chart, man. It's been an absolute roller coaster over the last 20 minutes or so on Roku. It's now down another 9%. Let's see if I can come up with those numbers here.
What's that little green nub forming? There's like a nub. Oh,
that's a new candle. So each one of these candles represents 5 minutes.
Okay.
So this is what's called the 5-minute chart. And for any of those you watching at home that think you are smarter than any of us, Freddie is still what would you call yourself? An apprentice? Somebody who's still learning?
I would call myself an idiot. I used to sell 5-minute candles, but the business model didn't really work out. Candle that burns in 5 minutes.
I like that. That's what she said.
Sex candle for people that only like short sex. So you got until this candle burns out.
Oh my god. Roku, it looks like the earnings came in 17 cents compared to the 7-cent estimate. So it looks like they beat on earnings per share. But I think it's still quite the shit show right now.
MMT ask, what do you think about ODFL?
That is Old Dominion, and the transports industry in general, I think, is actually really good. So if you're a trucker, if you're a trucking company, you could look at GXO or XPO Logistics. Those are both going to do well, I think. But yeah, Old Dominion's going to do well. We can take a look at that chart real quick. ODFL, I think that's come down quite a bit. So this is probably in a good spot. It's come down because of the supply chain issues. And obviously, if there's supply chain problems, the business isn't going to be great for the transports. But now I think things are starting to turn around. We saw GXO actually respond to that last week, or earlier in the week. So I think this is actually in a good spot too. We're just now saw a higher low here, and I think that we could start to make, keep an eye on this 200-day moving average. Right now, it's sitting around $298. We get up above that 200-day moving average, and we can start to see the momentum really kind of pick up. I mean, it's been oversold for a while. I kind of like it here. I like Old Dominion.
All right.
Looking at Roku, though, it looks like they saw their quarter one adjusted EBITDA of $55 million. They were estimated at 78, so they missed on that. So it looks like they missed on revenue quite a bit. Looks like they missed on revenue quite a bit. So that's why the stock's a little bit all over the place. Let's go back to the 5-minute chart so I can show you guys what's going on here. It's been a whirlwind. If you guys are just tuning in, Roku has just been an absolute shit show, kind of like the entire day or the entire week this week. But over the last 20 minutes, it shot up around 3-4% right out the gate, then tanked 10%, started to move back up as people were waiting for their investor relations page to come back on because it had crashed. And then they came out with the numbers and the stock crashed. So it's down another 10% right now at $130. That's just crazy. Looking at the daily chart. So $129 now is where it's sitting at. Still, the selling is still accelerating here. So we look at the chart and try to figure out where this is going to potentially land. So here's the 52-week low is at 142. We're already well below that. The next stop for this could be at $102. Let's draw a support line here. So you guys can see all the way back here. We have to go back to June of 2020 to experience the last time we saw Roku down at these levels. So there's also another potential support at 114. So maybe that's an area that we could potentially see that come down to as well. Maybe that's the first stop just to see. But right now, I mean, with it trading at around $129, $130 a share, there's very high potential this could come down, especially if the rest of the market continues to get dragged down tomorrow too, man. This is craziness. Wild stuff, man. I lost your audio.
Oh, I'm just looking at the snowboard.
Oh, I saw your mouth moving, so I thought you were actually talking.
You caught me mid daydreaming. That's what I was thinking about, like a joke I'm going to possibly say, and I moved my mouth. So this is what my girlfriend goes through on a daily basis.
Oh my god, that's hilarious! Holy shit, that was funny.
Yeah, this is truly fucked. This might be. Is this the worst day since I started the show?
The worst day that you've been a part of. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
At least, yeah, I'm paying attention here somewhat.
There has been worse days this year already, though. Days that you weren't here. We go back to the SPY, the S&P 500. This was kind of a really shitty day. I believe this was like on a Tuesday or something. The Fed came out, said some shit, spooked everybody. So the bottom of SPY was at 420. Right now it's trading around 436. So I think that there's a possibility maybe we see this come back to test around 425. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think there's a possibility that maybe we see this thing rip up. At the end of the day, even though Roku has been really shitty, guys, and we've seen some of these earnings kind of not perform well. These are all earnings for the most part that were already reporting losses, and they come in and report further losses, and it's just going to continue to punish the stock. That's kind of been the theme, right? We've seen stocks that have performed really well. I mean, Disney, Airbnb, some of the reopening plays, stocks that are making money or companies that are making money, reporting profits, they're still continuing to do well. And that's the rotation we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of this money come out of stocks that aren't seeing the growth that they once saw, that are reporting losses. Then you have the Fed coming in and increasing interest rates, which makes it harder for them, those companies that are not making any money, to borrow. So it affects their bottom line. So it affects growth. So that's that chain reaction. And so when people, when investors understand that and they see earnings like this from Roku, it makes them want to jump ship even faster. So I think that that's going to be the continued theme. But I'm really encouraged by the companies that are continuing to grow. And we've talked about a lot of those, right? The Microsofts, Apples. I mean, even though they kind of feel like, boomer type, stocks, they're continuing to just crush it. And, we've talked about oil, right? Grandma and grandpa's stocks are killing it right now. And I think that's going to continue to be the theme, at least through the first half of the year.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude. I mean, you got the crew riled up here. Housekeeping says Freddie realizing that this isn't an investment stream, but more of an emotional support program. And then somebody said, Brad is my pastor in these dark times, bro. And I'm feeling that when he was talking, I was like, fuck yeah, I want to fucking buy more. I don't give a shit.
Speaking of which, let's get into your portfolio, man. Like, what do you got? What are you holding right now, and what are you down the most on?
So I am holding Airbnb.
You should be doing good on.
Huh?
You should be doing good on that, right?
Yeah, that's at 12.46. OPK, that's up 3%. And then Realty Income is up like 0.5%. And then we're going to get into some reds here, guys. Walt Disney down 23.9%. Lululemon has they're usually good to me. To this right here, this isn't good. Negative 87, and then Crocs at negative 165.
Whoa, negative 87. So you're only down $87 on Lululemon.
Is that good?
Yeah. So well, it really percentages. So like, I want to know like what percent you're down on.
Oh, I don't. Let's see. My bad.
Lexa says she has OPK as well.
Oh, I'm looking at the P&L. I can't see percentages. I guess even if it's not too much of a lot, is $87 a lot?
Well, it depends on how much you have in there. Like, what was your initial buy-in on that?
Let's see.
Yeah, Crocs is. I think Crocs is going to be a good one. Crocs will probably be a good one to buy up. And are you down on Apple? You said, or no?
I don't see. Apple. Oh no, up on Apple.
You're up on Apple.
25. Yeah.
Okay. So you're probably good on just continuing to hold Apple. I would look at something good. The good quality companies that have really sold off. Disney is a great ad. I think Disney would probably, if I was going to list order priority, I think I'd probably go after Disney first to add to.
Buy some Disney. What, like tomorrow?
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at Disney right now, and I mean, it's already started to make the move up, and I think tomorrow. Let's take a look at this. So, it came down. You were actually down a lot further than that at one point back in January, early or late January. So this has obviously made a really good move. They just recently had earnings last week, Freddie, and they had really good things to say. Disney Plus is growing incredibly well, and they talked about opening up the parks and lifting a lot of the restrictions going into the summer months. And I think they're probably going to see explosive growth. And you may not know this, but their parks, the revenue they got from the parks is their largest revenue driver before the pandemic took place.
Oh, so, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if they're going to get back to full capacity and they don't have to spend all this money on, restrictions revolving around COVID, this should do really well for them moving forward. So I think that Disney is actually a great buy here, even with the move up from the bottom. So I think that this would be a great one for you. It's back up over the 50-day moving average. So yeah, man, I think that it's a good one, especially because I think it's important for people to know too, you're not looking to time anything. You're just looking to add to your portfolio in stocks that have been beaten down that are in your portfolio. I think this would be the first one that I would run to.
Okay. All right. Don Fran says this is a good one for sure. Oh, Disney. I thought he was speaking slang. Like, yo, hey, yo, this right here, this is a good one for sure. I thought Don Fran.
I would pay money to see Don talk like that. He's the whitest of white boys.
That's great.
Christopher Wisdom asks a great question here. Says, any thoughts on Palo Alto or the cybersecurity sector going into earnings next week? I think that either one of those, and Palo Alto or CrowdStrike, those are going to do really well. So, and they're probably going to continue to move up, especially if Russia continues to just act like a bunch of dicks. So the reason being is we're seeing cybersecurity attacks from Russia increase. So I'd imagine that we're going to see demand and attention being drawn towards these cybersecurity companies. So CrowdStrike is kind of more my favorite one to go after. You also have companies like Okta. It's a decent one to do, and it's come down to a 52-week low, which I think could be a reasonable area to maybe watch for. Let's make sure it holds that area, but that looks good there. And then you have Palo Alto too. What is that? What is that ticker? PANW. That's what it is. PANW. And this one's actually held up the best. Just looking at the charts. I mean, CrowdStrike obviously has been beaten down. This has actually been holding up really well. As choppy as it's been, actually looks pretty darn good. So yeah, I'm on board with something like a Palo Alto. I think their earnings are probably going to be good. There's a lot to like about those cybersecurity stocks for sure. Go ahead, Freddie. What were you gonna say?
No. I was gonna say something, then I lost it.
Okay.
It was something about the technocrats. I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so guys, thanks so much for tuning in. There's a ton of you guys in here. Appreciate you guys hitting the like button and all of it, all that good stuff. It was a tough day, but one thing we have to realize is that this is just one day, and it's been a tough stretch of days, but we're gonna get through this, and it'll be fine. I think there's been a lot of crazy overreactions to a lot of things that have been going on in the economy, and obviously now geopolitically, it's been it's created a bunch of problems. But I think if you got cash, spend it. In my opinion, it wouldn't be. I wouldn't say like go all in, don't go balls deep all at once. But I think that nibbling off positions here and there, buying a few things that are on steep discount will probably pay off in the long run once people start getting out of their feelings. And lastly, I wanted to kind of address what's been going on with Fat Man Zoom. You guys have been asking over really all week, and I haven't had a whole lot to report on, but there have been some developments. And one of them that he wanted me to share with you guys is that he was told that he has either a grade 3 or grade 4 glioma, which means that it's a very aggressive brain cancer. We won't know if it's a 3 or 4 until we get the genetic testing back, but the preliminary tests have told us that it's an aggressive brain cancer, which obviously sucks. It's been a lot to process over the last couple of days. Obviously for Fat Man Zoom, but for me and Freddie just found out today too. So, when your boy's down and out, it's really tough, and it's taken its toll on me too. But Fat Man Zoom is taking it better than all of us. I mean, he really is. His spirits are super high. He's been super positive, just as Fat Man Zoom, as you would expect him to be. One thing that really resonated with me was that, he wasn't going to go down as somebody that just kind of gave up, and he's just going to continue to fight it. And he's not going to let it just kick his ass and not go down swinging. Again, we're not saying that this is the end. It's just that it's obviously not great news. And, we're just going to have to, it's going to be a really big touch and go. A lot of you guys have asked what you can do. And many of you have brought up setting up a GoFundMe. So I went ahead and did that. The link is in the description if you guys want to go check that out and donate to Fat Man Zoom. He is very much on board with clinical trials moving forward. The procedure he had on his brain last week was indeed a clinical trial. The insurance companies, you know how they are with that kind of thing. They either fight it or they don't refuse to pay for it or whatever. But he would rather move forward on clinical trials on cutting edge stuff to try to fight this thing. And he's willing to do whatever it takes. So in order to help him out with that, if you guys wouldn't mind, like I said, I know you guys were asking about that. The link is in the description. I know he would appreciate it. And this wasn't something that he had asked for. This was something that you guys had asked for. So I went ahead and provided that for you guys in case you did want to donate to Fat Man Zoom. Anything you want to add, Freddie?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys because I found out this news like an hour before this stream, and I was pretty down. And for the time I've been on this stream, I was able to take my mind off of it, which really helps. So thank you guys for making jokes in the comments and being so cool and being so excited to have me on every Thursday. I'm really grateful for you guys. Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, same. You guys are great, and it definitely allows me to kind of get away from the real world for a little bit too. So you guys are amazing, and I don't think you guys even realize how much you mean to us. So thanks for that. That being said, there won't be any Stock Watch Sunday. Today's Thursday, so you know it's the last day of the week for us. There won't be any Stock Watch Sunday because it's President's Day on Monday, so Stock Watch Sunday will be on Monday. So enjoy your guys' weekend. Enjoy your weekend, Freddie. Where can they find you?
Oh, before I go, Lexa says hug, guys. All right.
Let's do this a virtual hug.
Chaos, bro, I love you. Oh, you are. All right. Follow me, my podcast, Fred Talk, one word. Follow me on Instagram. I have a tournament going on of best TV show, and it's getting hot, guys. So follow me on Instagram at Freddie Valois, and I have exclusive content on patreon.com/Freddie Valois. I'll see you guys next Thursday. Bye.
All right. See you guys.